following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Welcome into a Thursday edition, October 6th, Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao coming to you from Columbia. Mo Patton coming to you from way up north.
Not as far north as we could be, but Cadillac, Michigan, and I'm a little disappointed that you can't see Lake Cadillac over my shoulder here. We are spending some time this weekend with Jody's oldest son and his family, and specifically her firstborn grandson, Lucas, who's turning 6. So there you go.
Lake Cadillac. I like
Lake
it.
Cadillac. It's not one of the Great Lakes. I guess it's one of the pretty good lakes.
It's like the Hall of Very Good.
The Hall of Very Good. Yeah.
It's
Lakes.
not the Hall of Fame, but it's close. It's close.
Yeah.
Well, we got a good show today. We've got a lot to get to. Thomas Osteen, who's going to join us at 2:30 to talk about his big Region 5 4A matchup with the Pearl-Con Firebirds on Friday. That's going to be a big one. Then we've got high school football pick'em, where Mo and I will tell you what's going to happen in the biggest games from around the mid-state, as well as the short slate that we have here in southern Middle Tennessee. We'll have Mostradamus tell us what's up there as well. So let's hop right in. We got a big show, a lot of fun. Trust me, I've got fun things planned. Fun things are planned. So please stick around. You're going to want to, I promise. But before we do anything else, Mo, let's go ahead and get into yesterday's results, today's schedule, and more on the rundown. Here we go now.
Wednesday volleyball action. Lebanon defeated Green Hill 3-2 in girls soccer. It was Lincoln County 4, Spring Hill 3. Pro baseball, the final day of the Major League Baseball regular season. The Pirates finished things up with a 5-3 win over the Cardinals. The Cubs crushed Cincinnati 15-2. Diamondbacks with a 4-2 win over a postseasonless Milwaukee Brewers squad. And the Miami Marlins sent Don Mattingly out on top with a 12-9 victory over the NL East division champion Atlanta Braves.
Tonight's schedule, high school football action, plenty of it around the mid-state. Overton will be at Cane Ridge. That's a huge game at 7 o'clock. All of these at 7 o'clock kicks. Father Ryan's at Clarksville Northeast. Clarksville Northwest will be at home as well. They'll take on Nashville Christian. Oakland at CPA. East Nashville taking on Maplewood at home. It's Glencliff at Hillwood. McGavock hosting Antioch, and Tullahoma will go to Montgomery Central.
Also at 7 o'clock, big tilt over in Wilson County as Lebanon travels to Mount Juliet. Davidson Academy gets on the bus, goes down to South Haven, Mississippi to take on North Point Christian. As Chris mentioned, Marshall County is at Pearl-Con at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow? No, that's tonight. Yeah, I'm sorry. All of these are tonight. Yeah, Kenwood is at Rossview at 7. Franklin Road Academy is at Stratford, and Clarksville is at West Creek.
All right, in volleyball action, Providence Christian takes on Middle Tennessee Christian at 5 o'clock, and Battleground Academy will play Good Pasture at 6:30. In girls soccer action, it is Franklin County at Siegel at 4. First touch for Brentwood Academy at home against St. Cecilia at 4:30. At 5 o'clock, Hunters Lane will be at Lead Academy, and at 6 p.m., East Hickman hosting Republic. Greenbrier traveling to East Nashville, and Friendship Christian at home against Webb School.
Also at 6 o'clock, Stewart's Creek is at Lipscomb Academy. Christ Presbyterian Academy is at Nashville Christian. Watertown hosts Cannon County. At 7 o'clock, Father Ryan is at Harpeth Hall. Gallatin travels to Hendersonville. Liberty Creek hosts Cheatham County. And Page takes on visiting Marshall County. In NFL action tonight, 7:15 on Amazon Prime, Indianapolis is at Denver in the Peyton Manning Bowl. And that is your rundown.
All right, there you have it. That's our rundown for the day. Our top story, Mo, coming from the association. We don't always get a lot of association stuff here on the show, but I did see a report that LeBron has made mention to the NBA's commissioner, Adam Silver, that he would prefer if there were an NBA team in Las Vegas, saying, quote, "I would love to bring a team here at some point. That would be amazing. I know Adam is in Abu Dhabi right now, I believe, but probably sees every single interview and transcript that comes through the NBA players. So I want the team here, Adam. Thank you."
You know, I'm not sure how many players in the association have the ear of Adam Silver, but I feel like LeBron James is one of those. So,
well, I think what he's asking is to own a team, and I guess, yeah.
So I want the team here, not I want the team here, but I want the so yeah. Because this goes on to say Wednesday was not the first time James has expressed interest in owning a team in Las Vegas, but this was certainly his most direct declaration. So
it doesn't get more direct than that.
Yeah, I want a team in Vegas, said James, who is already part owner of the Liverpool FC and the Boston Red Sox. I want the team in Vegas.
And also pickleball too.
Yeah, and pickleball. Yeah, how many folks own a pickleball team and an NBA team?
Yeah, probably not many. So, someone asked Silver about Seattle and Las Vegas as expansion locations, and he's like, "We were in Seattle. I'm sorry, we are no longer there." Interesting.
What does that mean? I want, because it says when asked specifically about Seattle and Las Vegas as potential expansion locations, he endorsed both cities. So it sounds like he was expressing sorrow that they left. Maybe
that's We have a WNBA team in Seattle and an almost brand new building, and that's doing spectacular in Las Vegas, where we will be at our summer league in July. I mean, Las Vegas Aces just won the WNBA championship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it to me seems like if you're going to add teams, of course, both of those teams would be in the West, which is unfortunate because, obviously that kind of screws up the world.
It'll be interesting to see whether it's Memphis or Minnesota that gets kicked to the East.
I can't imagine it would be Memphis at this point.
Geography?
Well, yeah, but when has that stopped the NBA from being dumb?
Yeah, well.
So
or anybody else.
I mean, obviously, I would love for Memphis to be in the East because then they get to play, teams that are more geographically friendly to this area. But also,
and quite possibly, they get an easier road to the finals.
Well, there's also that. I mean, not having to go through, Minnesota for one.
Among others, yeah.
Milwaukee. They've been great. Obviously, the Lakers have not been great in the last couple of years, but
the West is still loaded.
It's loaded. I mean, Golden State, Phoenix. Yeah, it's tough. So, I mean, it would be interesting to see, I guess, if you were going to expand. And look, I've said it on this show a number of times. I don't know how much, pro sports in Las Vegas can work because pro athletes are not always the best decision makers sometimes. So, I mean, just who was it that left the football game and the quarterback that left the football game and went to a gentleman's club? Justin Fields.
Jordan? Oh,
Justin Fields.
Oh, really? I did not. I was not aware of that.
Yeah, he left. He left. They had lost a game, and he left and immediately went to a gentleman's club. So I mean, I'm just saying sometimes it may not be the best idea. But if LeBron wants a team, and to me, he's the biggest individual brand you have in the league right now. It'd be hard for me as Adam Silver to tell him no.
Yeah. Now this says he would have to be done playing to own a team.
Well, yeah.
I
guess if you're owner player, can you Jackie Moon it?
I don't see why not.
The tropics.
And despite having a net worth of more than $1 billion, according to Forbes, he would need an ownership group. Apparently, the T-Wolves sold for $1.5 billion in 2021. The Nets sold for $2.35 billion in 2019, and the Suns are expected to go for more than that when they are sold by beleaguered owner Robert Sarver. So we'll see what happens. But it's certainly worth talking about, and I'm sure will be talked about more. So
I'm interested. I like the idea of LeBron owning a team, because I just think, with Jordan doing it and having that Bobcats ownership at one time, I feel like, LeBron is trying to find his way into being everything that Michael has been.
Well, there are those that would tell you he's been running the Lakers since he got there. So,
well, and them and every other team he's been on since he left Cleveland the first time.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I mean,
it makes results.
Being an owner and being a general manager, two different things. And right now, it certainly feels like he is general manager-esque in Los Angeles, and it's not worked out great.
It really hasn't worked out great. Yeah, so will be interesting.
Perhaps he would be smart enough to hire someone else to do that part. But to me, it certainly sounds like he would be a Jerry Jones style owner. Have his fingers in all the pots, for
better or for worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's your top story for today. LeBron wants a team in Vegas, and he wants to own that team, apparently.
He wants the team in Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah.
So take that however you'd like. We're going to take a break because Thomas Osteen coming up later in the show. When we come back, a hodgepodge of sports topics coming your way here on Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, so stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in. Main Street Sports today presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton. It's Thursday, which means we've got Coach's Corner coming up here soon, high school football coming up, and we'll pick later in the show. But right now, Mo, we've got a little hodgepodge of stuff to talk about, and I want to start in Thursday Night Football. As tonight, the Colts travel to Denver in what you called the Peyton Manning Bowl. I like that. But, you know, the question is, without the league's third best running back, how will the Colts survive?
Third best? I thought he was the league's best running back.
Well, I mean – if someone else can call him the best, I can call him the third best.
Yeah, you might
perspective, right?
Yeah. I'm sure that there are many that would disagree with you on that, actually. But I mean, I'm not one of them.
Those who would disagree have also picked the Colts to win the division the last 3 years, and guess what?
Hello, they missed that too. Yeah, absolutely.
How about them apples?
You know, coming into the season, I think a lot of us, and I include myself in that, expected the AFC West to be the most competitive division in the National Football League. Coming out of last weekend, the Chiefs are 3-1. Chargers and Broncos are both 2-2, and the Raiders are 1-3. And one of those three losses is to the Titans. So, yeah, I think it's a little hard to figure out this division right now. One of those reasons being, as we discussed offline, I don't think Russell Wilson has lived up to expectations in his first 4 games in Denver.
I can certainly tell you that the Denver Broncos don't feel like he has. Now, that being said, you know, sometimes it's not just a quarterback. And and a lot of folks forget that. You know, if you just look at this wide receiver group, you feel like, you know, Jerry Jeudy should be out here making waves, but only 11 catches on 21 targets, 183 yards
in 4 games.
And of those 183, 67 came on one play. So, I mean, and then Cortland Sutton leads the team with almost, you know, with 343 yards on 24 catches. But, you know, this is not a great wide receiver core.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you got to look at a lot that goes into this. Now, you know, Russell Wilson's completing better than 60% of his passes. To me, he's thrown for 4 touchdowns and a pick. He's been sacked 12 times in 4 games. If that doesn't tell you exactly what you need to know about why the Broncos have not been successful, then you don't know much football. It ain't the quarterback necessarily all the time. And I try to tell people that about Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill last year, it wasn't that he had a bad year. He just everything compiled with the fact that he, you know, had to figure some things out on his own.
Sure.
It wasn't all his fault.
Well, and again, going back to the Tannehill situation, I mean, the receiver core was not exactly dynamic in if guys aren't creating separation on their end, there's only so much a quarterback. It really puts more pressure on the quarterback to be more precise, and that was a tough haul for Tannehill at times last year. But to your point, it's not always the quarterback. As much as it's a quarterback-driven league, a quarterback-driven game, it's not always the quarterback.
And that's where I think a lot of people are getting confused in that, yes, it is a quarterback-driven league. This is a quarterback-driven game. But if you can't protect your quarterback, it doesn't matter if you've got Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Drew Lock back there. None of them are going to be successful.
Although you do feel a little bit better about Brady's chances than Locke's, just to carry that all the way through.
Maybe, but again, they can't throw it from their back, and no
cannot.
quarterback can throw it from their back. That's not how it works. So you have to look at this team as a whole, and right now they're not very good up front. Colts are not very good up front. I mean, you saw Jeffrey Simmons just absolutely dominate the Indianapolis Colts up front, which Jeffrey Simmons is going to dominate almost everybody. But the entire pass rush was dominant on Sunday against the Colts, and I think that's you're going to see a really sloppy football game tonight if you have Amazon Prime.
And if you don't, maybe you're going to be lucky.
Yeah, maybe you just go to a high school game. You're probably better off in Lewisburg or
certainly Lewisburg, probably a few other places, but certainly Lewisburg. Maybe Old Hickory Boulevard for Oakland CPA.
Yeah, I mean, there are options out there.
There are options that don't involve the Colts and the Broncos.
And this is just the Colts right now. Look, Matt Ryan threw for almost 350 yards last week against the Titans, and that's nothing that we didn't expect, Mo. We talked about it all off season. And if he had any protection at all, he doesn't fumble twice. And, who knows what happens in that game. I don't think the Titans win it if he doesn't fumble twice.
Well, as long as they don't score in the second half, then they probably don't. So. But don't talk to Mike Vrabel about that.
Again. And I hear today that Todd Downing says the team is close to breaking out in the second half. It's not a breakout thing, dude. It's coaching. The team is fine. Clearly, they know how to score. You just don't know how to adjust what you're doing to what the defense is doing. It's crazy how he went from a guy who couldn't script first drives to a team that scored on every first possession this season, but now can't score in the second half. Like it's peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger, Kool-Aid, no sugar.
Yeah.
You can only pick one. And
I will say this: if you can only pick one, I'm sorry.
I think I'd pick the second half better than I'd pick scoring first.
I don't know. I think if you can score first, you can put a little pressure on the other team, and if you can score on 3 possessions or 4 possessions in the first half, then yeah, let's do that.
But the first drive is only one drive.
But they've scored 24 points in each of their last 2 first halves.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he's able to script the first.
I understand. I understand that. So you're saying it would be better to be able to adapt coming out of halftime than it is to go down and kind of set the tone early
in the first drive. Yeah, if I get one or the other, if I get choosing to adapt in the second half or scoring on the first drive, I'm choosing adapting in the second half. Now,
okay.
If you're telling me I get first half Titans or second half Titans, then it really doesn't matter because you're not going to score in one of the other halves. So it's 6 and 1 half dozen of another.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, the Colts just did not look great.
And we're okay with that. And we're okay
God.
if they continue to not look great tonight. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, if they lose tonight, I'm certainly not going to be angry with it. That's definitely not going to be something that I'm worried about. So anyway, moving along here. Antonio Brown is unhinged.
This isn't news.
I know that, but like I thought he would at least maybe calm down a little in his retirement. No, not at all. So I tweeted yesterday, and
this scenario is sort of like, I don't know if you've seen the movie Shaft with Samuel L. Jackson when he goes in and resigns and then he says to Peoples, "Do you think I'm more dangerous or less dangerous without a badge?"
Exactly.
So
this is 100%, and AB is certainly trying to. Am I crazier with or without
the NFL
to play for? So, for those who don't know, this is a picture of Antonio Brown and Tom Brady's future ex-wife Giselle after their Super Bowl win.
This is so disrespectful in this context.
I mean, it really is. It's insane. So, I mean, let's give credit where credit's due, though. AB always be trolling. And my tweet yesterday was first Gronk, then Giselle, and now Cole Beasley's retiring. Is Tom Brady just a knucklehead? And I didn't say knucklehead. Or is he impossible to play with? My column. Because, everybody's got a column these days.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like everybody else recognized that football isn't the be-all, end-all except TB12.
There you go. Yeah. Secondly, I don't know if you've seen this, but when you bank in the South, you get some weird security questions. Which sports team do you love to see lose? And if it's the answer for me would probably be Yankees. I love to see the Yankees lose.
The answer for me is probably going to be Notre Dame.
Yeah, I can see that. You're a pretty big hater on the Golden Domers.
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby Smith.
And today in college football history is the anniversary of the infamous 5th down. And this is a picture of the gentleman who was holding the box.
He was on the box. Huh?
He was on the box and did not flip the box after the first spike on first down. And apparently, according to fifthdownsports.com, who created an entire website based on this play.
Is that spelled out fifth or is that 5th?
5thdownsports.com. They have a story on this, and it actually talks about, this guy, he was driving down the road, and when he realized, apparently he didn't realize it until he was listening to the radio and they were talking about it. He pulled over to the side of the road and got physically ill and had to open his door. And when he realized that he had screwed up, because, I mean, obviously you see him, huge Missouri Tiger fan. His tag was BGTGR, Big Tiger. I mean, you feel bad for that guy, right?
Fifthdown.cfb.com.
Is it okay?
With the 5.
With the 5. But yeah, so great story there. And this is glad the guy can smile holding up the 5 now. I know he wasn't back then.
Well, he's had 32 years to get over it.
Get over it. There you go. Hey, real quick before we get out of here, it was announced, 2 days ago? Yesterday? Day before, that the Savannah Bananas will be making their way to First Horizon Park next summer. And I'm going to do my best to be there. I know you will too, Mo. But if you're unfamiliar with Banana Ball, here is a little sneak peek into the world of Banana Ball.
This game is called Banana Ball. We have 9 rules. Rule number 1, every inning counts. If you win the inning, you get a point. How do you win an inning? You score more runs than the other team. And the final inning matters the most, with every run counting as a point. Number 2, there's a 2-hour time limit. When we hit the 2 hours, boom, it's over. Unless there's a tie. And then it goes to our one-on-one showdown. Pitcher versus hitter with only one fielder. The pitcher has to stop the hitter or the hitter has to score. Number 4, there's no bunting. Bunting sucks. We're eliminating it. All right, swing the bat. Next rule, you can steal first. If the pitcher throws a wild pitch, I don't care what count it is. All right, hitter take off. Number 6, there are no walks. Walks are now sprints. On ball 4, the hitter takes off to first. He can advance to as many bases as he wants, while the catcher has to throw the ball to every single position player before it becomes live. Number 7, batters cannot step out of the batter's box. If you step out, it's a strike. Next rule, no mound visits. Coach does a slow little walk out to the mound. He's just delaying the game. Fans don't need that. We're done with that. And finally, what's the most fans first rule you could have? Well, let the fans actually play. If a fan catches a foul ball, it's an out. Everyone's trying to be a part of the game. Now fans can be. And that's banana ball.
If you don't like that, you can't be a fan.
Scheduled to be at First Horizon Park on Friday, June 2nd. What is the website bananaball.com?
Oh, I think it's
Savannah Bananas?
bananas.com.
Okay. But they also have a Facebook page because everybody does.
SavannahBananas.com.
SavannahBananas.com. But yeah, they will be in Nashville on Friday, June 2nd. Tickets have not gone on sale. My indications are that ticket sales will be handled by the Bananas, and it'll probably be spring before they do go on sale. But
usually 2 months or 8 weeks ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. 2 dates in Birmingham, the 23rd and the 24th. The 23rd at Regions Field, the 24th at Rickwood Field, historic Rickwood Field, the oldest
professional ballpark in America.
And that's on a Saturday, for what that's worth. Let's see, at Indianapolis on June 30th, which would be the following Friday. So if you're not, but I'll tell you, if you get a chance to see them at Grayson Stadium, it may not be as old as Rickwood, but it's pretty old, and it's a pretty cool place to see a ball game. I've not seen the Bananas there, but I have seen the Sand Gnats there. So,
back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Savannah and Hilton Head, Myrtle Beach kind of coincide nicely.
Yes, they do. I've done it. So, all right. Well, there you go. That is our hodgepodge segment. We are scheduled to have Thomas Osteen join us here in just a few moments, and we'll hand out some hardware as well on the other side of the break. So please stick with us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back after these messages from our
The high school football season is here, and nobody handles Friday nights better than Main Street Media. Here's Zach Womble with details.
That's the name of the game here at Main Street Media and Main Street Preps. Is, we've been doing this for a long time now, and I think you hit on it. We've got an army of reporters across all of Middle Tennessee. I think there's about 130 schools in the Middle Tennessee area, and we try to cover all of them. We cover about 11, 12 counties at this point. And those Friday night shows, it's we're gonna show that off. We're gonna showcase the talent that we have on the field with reporters across several mid-state games on the weekly basis. So, whether you're in Williamson County, whether you're in Giles County or Murray County or Montgomery or Robertson or anywhere in between, we're going to have you covered from 6 to 11.
Friday Night Live is presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. We are back here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton, coming to you on this beautiful Thursday as we are getting set to have, hopefully, Coach Thomas Osteen will join us here momentarily. He is working to get on to us. There he is right there. We're going to hand out some hardware before we do that, though. So, Mo, why don't we dive into this week's team, player, and of the week here in Southern Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, the end to win life Southern Middle Tennessee team of the week, presented by Custom Stone Handlers. Ned Rich and his group, keeping you stoned. No, any materials you need along those lines, Nick can get you fixed up. But the end to win life team of the week is the Mount Pleasant volleyball team. The Lady Tigers went 3-0 last week, I think, to nail down the number 4 seed in their district tournament. So congratulations to Mount Pleasant volleyball.
And our Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint player of the week, also the Main Street Preps player of the week, goes to Mount Pleasant quarterback Nick Brown.
And Nick Brown ran and threw for a combined 258 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game you were at, Chris, as Mount Pleasant won 38-28 down at Richland in a big Region 5 2A game that pretty well put the Tigers in control of that region, albeit with Forest remaining to be played. But that's they are in pretty good shape, especially, you know, when you consider where this team was last year, I think. So
exciting times down in Mount Pleasant for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Now we go to our Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. If you've not gone to see Renee Hart and the fine folks at From the Heart in Chapel Hill, you should definitely do that. We've now mentioned 2 of the 3 teams in, or 2 of the 4 teams in Marshall County. Well, we've got Chapel Hill and I guess it's the same team, Forest. Anyway, but
it's okay. There's only 3.
There are only 3. And now we go to Coach Thomas Osteen, who is in Marshall County on Coach's Corner. Coach, how are you?
Doing good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for joining us, Coach. We know you got a big one here later on this evening, and I guess y'all just got done with your run through as you get ready to take on Pearl Cone in a massive region 4-4A 5-4A
We're
contest.
Region 5, Region 5
You are
4A, I think.
Every time they change them, and you guys are right there kind of on the edge. I know y'all played east a couple of years ago, and now you go west, and y'all are kind of in that swing region. But this is a big one tonight.
Yeah, big game. It definitely a lot of implications to it. We've still got 3 region games left, and this game's not going to decide our season, no matter how it goes. But that being said, it's a big game, and we can definitely position ourselves, as well as possible here at the end of the year, and achieve our first goal, which is a region championship with a win tonight.
Coach, what and this will be the last year before reclassification next year, but this 2-year period that you guys have been in this region, this 9-team region with 8 region games, how tough has that been?
It's been tough from the standpoint of there's no breathers. Every week is a playoff week. Our first 2 games are non-region, 8 weeks in a row of high intense fall. Every game means something. So there's good and bad to it. The bad is how tough it is each week, and you kind of got to be all in each week. But the good is, this region, every game means something. If you're out of this region, you're a good football team. We all know in Tennessee, there's so many small regions, and just by how it works out, there's a good bit of teams each year that make the playoffs that really probably shouldn't be there, but they get in because they're in a 5 or 4, 5, 6 team region. But if the playoffs out of this 9 team region, you're a really good football team. So it tests you, it makes you better, and hopefully puts you in a great position to be successful in the playoffs if you make it.
Well, you've certainly had a great season thus far, sitting at 6-0. I saw you in that season opener against Columbia Central, and obviously you guys played fantastic in that one. Got a big win. Silas Teat has certainly come on this year. Junior quarterback has been phenomenal for you, taking care of the football, which is the most important thing.
He's been just a good addition to our team. He's really like a point guard. We've got a bunch of people that can do something with the ball in their hands. We're really not an offense where one guy gets it the majority of the time. So he's doing a great job distributing the ball where the defense says it should go, and has a great command of our offense right now. And just really happy he's a leader on our team.
Coach, as Chris said, 6-0 on the year thus far, ranked number 5 in this week's Associated Press 4A statewide poll, with Pearl Cone at number 6. And it always seems to mean something when you two teams play each other. You mentioned playoff implications. You two are pretty much at the top of that region. And while this game, as you said, won't necessarily clinch anything, it really puts you in good position. What are your expectations of this Pearl Cone team as you head to Nashville tonight?
Man, they're really good. There's no about it. They're always athletic and intense, but this is the biggest Pearl Cone team I've ever seen. Talented on both fronts. They don't have to play both ways either. They've got some guys that'll play on the D line. They've got a whole offensive line that play defense. Multiple guys with been off. On their team, just an untalented, tough place to play. They're in Nashville. They're definitely the favorite tonight, but I think our team is really looking forward to this challenge.
You and Chris both talked about Silas Teat, but you've got a couple of running backs that really help you establish some things as well in terms of just physicality and ball possession and that kind of thing. How big do you expect those two guys to be for you tonight?
I expect it to be huge. DeMar Braden, kind of our senior leader at tailback, kind of been with an ankle the first part of the year. He came back in a big play last week versus Florence County, had a couple touchdowns, and just a hard-nosed kid, kind of been a key player for us the last 2 years, and then kind of a change-up. Antoine Hawthorne, more of a guy that can do multiple things out of the backfield. He can play receiver some as well, but kind of forming a two-headed monster for us back there that really makes us really multiple, hopefully.
On the other side of the ball, a couple of guys who are huge for you as well, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce Mr. Curry's first name, but you've got Curry and Crenshaw on the, give you a lot of ability to draw up some defenses to put pressure on opposing offenses.
Yeah, number one, Jacaven Curry. He's number 6 on our team. He is a tackling machine. He's just a junior. He's as good a student of the game as I've had, as far as just loving dissecting the opponent and then playing fast and physical and with a mean streak. When he gets there, he's got to be one of the leaders in the mid-state. Tackles, he had 15 tackles last week versus Lawrence County, so a huge week for him. And then kind of unique off the edge, Derek Shaw. An edge rush force. Mature as he got in high school, has hit it big time. As a senior here, he's actually the fastest kid on the team, and he plays DN. So kind of a unique win. He's had a bunch of tackles for loss and second here, and hope he has a big night tonight.
Thomas Osteen, coach at Marshall County, joining us here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Marshall County heading into a huge matchup with 6th-ranked Pearl Cone. And, Coach, know you guys got to get on the road, and we appreciate you taking some time with us.
Yeah, just appreciate y'all having me. Thanks for all y'all do for high school sports and high school football and Middle Tennessee, and love listening to you and reading your stuff all the time. Y'all do a great job.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Good luck to y'all tonight.
Thanks so much.
That was Thomas Osteen, head football coach at Marshall County. Mo, tonight's going to be fun. I mean, if you have nothing else to do, there's some high school football you can see inside of the Nashville city limits.
If Coach Broncos isn't doing it for you, and I can certainly understand if that were the case, it might be worth it to head over to Pearl Cone and hear the golden tones of Catfish Pender on the PA and check out the Tigers and the Firebirds.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's take a quick break here and come back with some Major League Baseball chatter. Little more than Braves this time. A little more than Braves, but
Braves are off.
That's right. I mean, they played yesterday, but yeah. Did they really play yesterday? That's the question.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
You guys stick around with us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be right back after this.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. It is time to talk a little Major League Baseball. Some Braves chatter in here as well, as we are looking ahead to the wild card round, which does not feature the Atlanta Braves.
And that's what we're looking forward to, the fact that we're not in it.
That's right. Here is the postseason bracket. As you can see there, we've got the St. Louis Cardinals and Philadelphia Phillies winner will take on the second-seeded Atlanta Braves, who finished with 101 wins on the season. And the New York Metropolitans and San Diego Padres will play for a chance to take on the number 1 seeded Los Angeles Dodgers in the National League Division Series. Tampa Bay and Cleveland over there vying for a shot at the Yankees, and then Seattle and Toronto, who will get top seeded Houston.
Interesting matchup, that Seattle-Toronto, in that those teams both came in an expansion year in 1976. So that's kind of cool there, I guess, for some folk.
That does seem very interesting. I did not realize that. And you know, one of the cool things about this particular wild card setup is that you get stories like Seattle, who, you know, haven't made the playoffs in since 2002 or something.
That sounds about right. It's been a while.
It was Ichiro's rookie season was the last time if that tells you anything.
Goodness gracious.
Rookie season, the last time they made the playoffs. So that's a little insane.
So I guess all of these teams that are in the playoffs have made the playoffs since the last time Seattle did. When's the last time the Mets were in?
Oh, that's well, they won it in like what?
Oh, that's right. What, 15, 16, whenever it was?
They won it. No, they didn't win it. They haven't won it since '86. They won the National League a while.
Did they play Kansas City in the World Series a few years back?
That may be accurate. But yeah, so this is
2015.
2015. Okay. So I guess that was the Royals. Yep. Obviously the Mariners come into this kind of to me, it's very frustrating. Can you hear that?
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. The Mariners come in as kind of the Cinderella everybody's rooting for me team. Julio Rodriguez is just he's a pleasure to watch play. He's a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me of what Ronnie was a couple years ago for the Braves. And then you've got George Kirby, Robbie Ray from Brentwood. To me, it just feels like this Mariners team, who has probably no real shot at, making it out of the division series, but everybody would love to see it.
By the way, Robbie Ray is not the only local tie to the Seattle Mariners. They also have former Tullahoma standout Justice Sheffield, originally drafted by the Indians in 2014.
I bet his jersey ain't in Buffalo Wild Wings over there either.
Don't get me started. do not get me started on that. That's not a good idea. But yeah. So yeah, there will be a lot of local interest in the Mariners in this postseason for two obvious reasons. Sheffield and Robbie Ray, as you mentioned, the former Brentwood standout, who's kind of been around as well. So
Tampa Bay, the 6th seed, it wasn't that long ago when Tampa Bay was, vying for the World Series every year.
Joe Madden ain't walking through that door though, apparently.
No, and neither is Charlie Morton, because he's going to be in Atlanta walking through their doors. But
nor David Price, by the way, who has announced that this will be his last. When the Dodgers are done, so will he be. So,
Tyler Glasnow and Corey Kluber apparently are available for the 6th-seeded Rays, and you throw them in with Drew Rasmussen, who was probably an AL Cy Young candidate for much of the year. Jeffrey Springs.
Don't forget about Shane McClanahan.
Well, I mean,
the line kind of forms behind him, I think, for this team.
It does, but you've got to win 2 games, and then you've got to win 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, because I think the Mets are doing this. The Mets are going to throw Max today, but they're planning to not use DeGrom if they can.
Today or tomorrow? Starts tomorrow, right?
Sorry, tomorrow. They're using Max tomorrow in game 1.
But they're going to hold DeGrom in hopes of winning the wild card?
If they can, that is their plan. So I'm curious what other teams might do, especially when you're talking about, obviously they've got to play Cleveland, who are the AL Central champs. But, and maybe we're not talking enough about Cleveland. I think Cleveland is a dangerous baseball team.
Well, I mean, it's cliche-ish to say it, but I think when you get to this point, pretty much everybody's dangerous.
Well, especially when you're talking about a top 3 seed.
Mm-hmm.
But Cleveland has been really good over the last 2 months, and
the thing is, Cleveland's been really good in a really bad division.
There's that. So it's hard to know. It's hard to know. I mean, they don't hit the ball for a lot of power. They're kind of like the Mets. They want to manufacture runs and that sort of thing. So I'm really interested to see how that team stacks up in a playoff situation, because as we both know, power's kind of where it is. And once you get to postseason play, I mean, you got to score runs, and you need to score them in a hurry most of the time, because when you get to this level, all the pitchers are good, and it's hard to get 4 or 5 hits in an inning off of good pitching.
It's hard to string stuff together. You need to be able to strike quick, and that's why a lot of people who are picking the Braves to repeat are picking the Braves to repeat, because there aren't many teams that have the consistent power 1 through 9 that the Braves do. Maybe the Yankees, but I mean, I don't know that either LA or Houston either has the up and down the lineup power that the Braves have. And as you say, it's tough to, death by 1,000 cuts. Offenses don't really fare well this time of year.
Right. And as you can see here, Fangraphs showing that Atlanta, number 2 in odds to win the World Series, right behind top seeded Houston. So, I mean, even a rematch could be, I would love it. I mean, would it be cool to see somebody other than Houston? Absolutely. But if you're a Braves fan, you just want to get back, period.
And you don't really care who comes out of that other side. But I will tell you this, that if the Braves have to lose in a World Series, and I posted this on a friend's Facebook page last night, if they have to lose, wouldn't bother me at all if it's to Dusty Baker and the Houston Astros.
It's the only team that wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Being put out of the playoffs at all. It's the only team that would not bother me to be put out of the playoffs is the Houston Astros. So it's World Series or bust for me again.
Hey, yeah, exactly.
And when you're the 2 seed, I mean, you have to feel that way, especially when you've got LA on the other side, when you feel like you're as good as that program.
You feel like you are as good as that team, and you feel like you are better than last year's team that won the whole thing.
I mean, you have to. I mean, Ronald Acuna Jr. is, you don't have Jorge Soler, but you've got Michael Harris, who is, and I won't say light years better than what we got from Adam Duvall last year, but I mean, he's certainly
better
in
more facets.
Yes, he definitely gives you a better defense, and in left field, if Eddie Rosario can catch lightning in a bottle again somehow, and give you anything in left field, then you feel really comfortable, because it appears, from what I understand, that and apparently Alex Anthopoulos misspoke when he was talking about the 2 injuries between Ozzie Albies and Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider could be available in the National League DS if needed. It appears that it would have to be the National League Championship Series before Ozzie Albies was to return. But if you can get Ozzie Albies back for the Dodgers and he's fresh, I mean, watch out.
Yeah. I mean, again, you just feel like even without Ozzie and even without Strider, you feel like this roster is better than what the Braves won the World Series with last year.
I would think so. I would certainly.
And as you put it, I mean, I would think Acuna is going to be in right field for every game from this point forward.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody else would.
And that alone puts you up. I mean, that's a guy who the power numbers aren't there that he's displayed prior to this year, but he's still a guy that one swing can change a ball game. And I think whoever he's playing against knows that. So,
and here's the thing: is you just need him to get on. I mean, you don't necessarily need him to win you, to hit home runs. I mean, it's nice when he does, obviously, but when he gets on, good things happen.
He's a game changer just on the bases.
Exactly, because if he's on first, he could be on third at any given moment.
And again, the other team knows that, which creates things. Even if he's not going, the fact that he's over there and they think he might go changes how they handle everything else.
Completely. Absolutely. There's no question about it. So, yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and put it out there. Tell folks who's going to win each wild card series, Mo. We'll start in the American League with 3rd-seeded Cleveland and 6th-seeded Tampa Bay. Who's going to get the Yankees?
I'm going to go with Cleveland in that one.
See, I think I'm going to take the Rays. I think their pitching matches up better than Cleveland, and I'm going to go Tampa Bay Rays here.
All right. Do that.
Seattle and Toronto, I feel like Toronto's just got too much firepower.
I just don't know enough about Toronto. I mean, clearly they've got Guerrero and Bichette and Biggio and those guys, and they've got a little bit of a veteran touch to them as well. But I kind of like this Seattle team. I think they may just be too young to know that they're not supposed to be here.
And there's danger in that.
There really is. I mean, there's a lot of youthful energy there, I think.
Sure.
That really helps them out.
Yeah. I'm going to go Blue Jays, but I could certainly see that being the case, that Seattle, kind of just nothing to lose. Last game of the year, Brent can't hold anything back now. The 3rd-seeded St. Louis and the Phillies. Now, obviously, we know who we'd like to see.
I know who I'd not like to see.
I don't think we're going to get the team we want to get in this one, though.
I tell you, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I think for different reasons, I'd like to see each of these teams. I feel like we're more familiar with Philadelphia, and that would probably play more to our advantage. But I think St. Louis postseason is the one demon that we have not exercised, and I think I'd kind of like that. And I like our chances against that team. Now, again, I've said it, St. Louis is a dangerous team this time of year, and you can't take anything for granted against them.
Well, I think that's because, conversely from Seattle, they've just got the experience and the, they've got people who know how to win in postseason play.
Right. So I'm gonna take the Cardinals in that series, and hope that it doesn't come back to haunt us later.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Cardinals win it. All right, Mets, Padres.
I would love to see the Mets get to the NLCS and us sweep them yet again. That's what I'd really love to see. But at the same time, I think they are just troublesome enough with their offense, with their combination of, being able to put balls in play and drive balls over the fence. And San Diego's been awfully inconsistent. I think I'm going to go with the Mets, much as it pains me to do.
Yeah, I think the Mets win because I don't think the Padres have near as much pitching. I don't think they got enough pitching to win this thing. They've not been great on offense since the trade deadline. It's not been a great year for the Padres, even though they didn't make the playoffs, which is better than last year. Last year they didn't make the playoffs at all. So, give kudos to them there. But yeah, I just feel like this is a team that is going to struggle against the Mets, and I've got the Mets as well. So there you go. There you have it. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be high school football pick'em right here. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao alongside Maurice Patton. And we are getting ready to talk to you about some high school football. Got several games across the mid-state coming your way here tonight and should be a lot of fun. So let's dive right in and tell you how to know before you go. Isn't that what you say?
That's it.
You can know before you go tonight and tomorrow night. And we will start tomorrow night, Mo.
Mm-hmm.
Big one. Maybe the biggest game in Class 5A tomorrow night.
There's not a whole lot of region games, so that kind of helps with the bigness of this one.
But, sure. Last week it was Henry County Springfield. This week it's Page at Nolensville.
You know, it was funny, the reactions that my tweets from Page Columbia Central were getting when I tweeted out Columbia Central 7, Page nothing, and then when I tweeted out Columbia Central 13, Page 7 at the half. And the Patriots came out in the second half and, kind of reset the earth on its axis and that kind of thing in a 48-13 win. But I'm telling you, if they get down to Nolensville like that, the Knights will know how to finish it out. And so at home, I'm taking Nolensville.
See, that was me. The only reason I'm taking this, the only way that I could pick a winner was to take the home team. I got Nolensville by a field goal because that's what you get for being at home. Now, this game is the Friday Night Lights game of the week, so you can see it on My TV 30 if you're not going out to a football game, or you can tape it as well. Tape it. Jesus.
Showing your age, big boy.
You can record it however you record. I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you do have a VCR.
Maybe you are still punching record. Yeah. Page number 2 in the state in the AP Class 5A statewide poll. Nolensville number 4. Both of them are 7-0. And I'm going to go so far as to say, regardless of what happens in this ball game, it's not the last time they'll see each other.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And the only way that, I know that the other side, that other region is pretty tough. But yeah, these two teams are probably right there in Nolensville certainly making a name for themselves this year. Speaking of that Springfield team, by the way, Mo, they go to the beach to Shackle Island tomorrow night. This is going to be a big game. And after last week, it was tough for me to pick Springfield, but I think that there's just something about this team that I feel like is going to use that as motivation rather than being upset about the loss last week. And so I am saying the Bucks go down to the Jackets, 35-31, Springfield over Beach.
I'm going to tell you that Beach doesn't lose a whole lot of games, and they lose even fewer at home. I'm taking the Bucks 27-21.
Well, me and Emily,
and that's no disrespect to Springfield, because I think they and Henry County are going to see each other again. And but I just got a lot of respect for this Beach program.
The program. Me and sorry.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, I said what I said. I have a lot of respect for this Beach High School football program.
I know you do. And me and Emily Spears are against you guys. There's no
That's
way.
Okay.
Jackets all the way, baby. John Overton at Cane Ridge. Now that one's tonight. And this one's talk about huge in-region play. This is a massive game. Cane Ridge could really take control of that region with a win over Overton tonight.
Yeah, and if Cane Ridge didn't already have your attention, their win over CPA certainly got it. The Ravens are in the middle of a really great season. Eddie Woods has always done a great job over there. They come in here 6-0. I'm sorry, 6-1, 4-0 in region play. Their only loss is a 47-28 loss at home to Father Ryan, but they've come back with a win over Laverne in region play, that 31-28 win over at CPA, and a 35-14 win last week at what has been considered a pretty darn good Smyrna team in region play. So again, the Ravens playing some really good ball right now. Overton has not lost since their 38-28 loss in the opener at home to Centennial. They're 5-1. They're 2-0 in district play, coming off of a 11-point win over, again, what we think is a pretty good McGavick team. So,
so I think this is going to be as good of a ball game as you're going to see tonight.
Absolutely. Again, when in doubt, go with the home team. Maybe I'm taking Cane Ridge in this one.
I've got Cane Ridge as well, 28-21. I think it's close. It's going to be as good of a game as you're going to see, period. Speaking of Centennial, they're at home this week against Ravenwood. Now, do we know if Chris Parson will be back?
I don't think we know. I would not count on him.
I think Centennial has a chance. Now, look, I saw this team against Summit, and there were times where they struggled, but they just have the ability to make big plays, and they're going to hit some big plays just because of their ability to make you miss in space. That being said, Ravenwood is they're really good.
They're really good, and they're not just Chris Parson good, right, as evidenced by, Carter Pace with 186 yards and 4 touchdowns last week against Summit. I think if you give Will Hester a week to get his personnel ready, whatever it is, he's going to figure something out. And that's what they did last week. And I think that's what they do again this time. I think this one goes down to the wire. And again, anybody that knows me knows my background with Centennial. It pains me to pick against them, but I'm taking Ravenwood by a field goal in this one. Not number 9 Centennial in the AP Class 6A top 10, by the way, against number 3 Ravenwood.
Good for them.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time was that they were ranked or if they've been ranked, but this is going to be a tough one. They are at home, but I just think Ravenwood figures out a way to win this one.
Yep, that's where I'm at too. I think again, it's all about Will Hester for me. And I think he's just too good. So I've got the Raptors as well. Greenbrier at Creekwood. Now, if you have followed Creekwood at all, you know that this team has as good of a defense as you're going to see at this level. I think they lost to Marshall County 17-14. I mean, they held Marshall County to the lowest points that they've had all year.
Yeah, I think that's the closest game that Marshall County has had.
So this is a good defense. I think that's where you've got to, really focus in on this team. Now, that being said, I'm going to go Greenbrier here, 20-13. But it's all about that Creekwood defense. If they can hold Greenbrier like they have everybody else, they could certainly win the game. Could go either way.
I'm going Greenbrier. It's a pretty uncomfortable pick. In fact, I picked it 14-13. But as you said, this Creekwood defense, besides their loss to Procon, they've not given up more than 17 to anybody, and that includes Marshall County back in week 3. So they're going to make you beat them, and I think it's going to be a slugfest. I expect it to be low scoring, obviously, but I think Greenbrier finds a way to get this one.
I think that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just like, maybe.
Well,
I'm not really sure.
Creekwood is what 3-3 overall. They're 2-2 in region play. Their losses are to Fairview, Marshall County, and Pearl Cone consecutively, and then they bounce back with road wins at Tullahoma and at Montgomery Central. Both of those were playoff teams last year. Obviously, Tullahoma won the Class 4A state championship. The program's in a little bit of disarray here of late. Greenbrier, I believe, missed the playoffs last year, started this year 0-2 with losses to Springfield. No shame there. And White House, but they've won their last 4 and pretty convincingly in most cases. So,
NBA at Ensworth. We said it last week. We'll say it every week. If NBA's in this, we're picking the Big Red.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to pick against them at this point, the way they're playing. And again, if one game can change your perception of a team, then NBA's win over McCallie a couple of weeks ago kind of did that. And until further notice, I'm rolling with the Big Red.
That's me. They're gonna have to prove me wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody's gonna have to beat them. So
Independence and Summit. This one is going to be in Thompson Station, just down the street from one another. It is border battle Friday at 7. Should be fun. Independence has been just kind of figuring things out without their quarterback and then also without Ty Lockwood. And obviously Summit has struggled all season long, but in this one, throw out the record books.
Throw out the record books, but as you said, Independence has been figuring things out, and it seems as though they may have figured some things out. Losing in overtime down at Brentwood last weekend, 24-23, but got a big game out of Brooks Sapone at quarterback. This was a kid who was supposed to play receiver for them, but with lingering effects of an injury to Cody Pagash, he's had to step in there at quarterback. And again, I think he threw for almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and took care of the ball. No interceptions in that Brentwood loss last week. And figuring things out for Independence when you are low on offensive weapons means turning and giving it to number 6, Trey Hartwell. And he delivers more often than not. This one may not be pretty when it's all said and done, but I think Independence gets it.
Yeah, I've got Independence in this one as well. Lebanon at Mount Juliet. This has certainly become a more interesting game over the last couple of weeks.
Hey, yeah, I think, again, when you talk about games that kind of get your attention, Mount Juliet's win over White County, the way White County was rolling at the time, I think drew a lot of eyes. Now, White County losing to Wilson Central a week later, I'm not sure how much that helped. But this is a Mount Juliet team that, regardless of where they are on the talent scale, finds a way to be competitive. And I think this is a pretty talented team. They've not lost since their season opener over at Gallatin, 27-18. 5 straight wins since then, including region wins over White County, Wilson Central, and Station Camp. So now this is not a region game. It's just for bragging rights.
And it's pretty big bragging rights are on the line. I got a feeling.
That just kind of has an asterisk around it. Yeah. Lebanon was a team that a lot of people have really high expectations for this year. I think they were ranked as high as number 3 in the AP Class 6A poll earlier this year. And again, I think this is a game that kind of brings out the best in both these programs. I'm going with the Blue Devils to go over to Mount Juliet and shock the Golden Eagles.
Bears, but
the Bears.
Yeah, not.
Yeah, I said Eagles. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, the Golden Bears. Yes, Golden Eagles. Shelbyville. My bad. Thanks.
I've got.
I know that.
I knew you did. I've got the Bears in this one. I think home team, and I think Lebanon is just kind of reeling. And Mount Juliet, this is a bigger game for Mount Juliet than it is for Lebanon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is for a couple of reasons. One, I think Lebanon, in the region that they're in, everything that they want to do is still in front of them. I think Mount Juliet kind of needs to continue the momentum that they have built up. They've got, after Republic next week, they've still got region games on the road at Hillsborough and at Green Hill, and that last one will be huge. So, I like you said, I think it's probably bigger for Mount Juliet than it is for Lebanon, and that may make a difference before it's all said and done. But I just think right now, as you said, the Blue Devils are reeling a little bit and looking to kind of reestablish themselves, and I think they do that tomorrow night.
Marshall County at Pearl-Cohn. We talked to Thomas Osteen just a bit earlier, and I think this is going to be as good of a ball game as you're going to find as well. Cane Ridge, Overton, Pearl-Cohn, Marshall County, either one. If you're in Nashville, technically, I guess you could see one half of each if you really worked hard.
You'd have to really work hard.
You'd have to work hard, but you might be able to do it if you really wanted to. This is going to be a good football game. I think the defense from Marshall County is going to be a huge factor in this. I think that linebacker and defensive end, when you have to game plan against guys like that, it's really hard to do. And I think Marshall County gets a minor upset here. Takes down the Firebirds.
I think if Marshall County wins it at Pearl-Cohn, I think it will be an upset. I don't think they do. I think Pearl-Cohn's got a little bit too much big playability, and as good as Marshall County is defensively, one play may be all Pearl-Cohn needs, and I think they can get one. I like Pearl-Cohn in this one.
I'll be interested to see what Damari and Silas Teet are able to do against this team, because I really think Silas Teet is an underrated player at the 4A level. Obviously transferred from Oakland to Marshall County, and really, if you can't get on the field at Oakland, there's no shame in that. It's tough over there, but at the 4A level, he's been phenomenal. So finally, more rivalries. Station Camp at Wilson Central. I feel like this is a big one too.
This is kind of a little bit of the undercard to Mount Juliet, Lebanon, I think. But both these teams have played really well in that region. That what is that? 6-5A? No. 5-5A.
5-5A.
Yeah. 5-5A. Yeah. And I think this one's going to go a long way toward kind of determining home field or road game for the opening round of the state playoffs in 5A. And mentioned White County, Wilson Central beat those guys a couple of weeks ago right after Mount Juliet did. And on the basis of that, I like the Wildcats over Station Camp.
I picked Station Camp earlier this year to beat Gallatin and got lucky, got the win. I'm doing it again. I got the Bison over Wilson Central, not Wilson County, as I put in the pick'em. Yeah, that's my bad. But I was doing it quickly as I was the last person to pick. So anyway, all right, we got two more games to talk about, Mo, real quick. Tell us what Mostradamus sees in the crystal ball this week.
Columbia Central goes to the Brickyard, takes on Giles County. Central coming off of that tough 48-13 loss to Page after leading 13-7 at the half. It's also fall break in Murray County, so preparation has probably been a little inconsistent. Giles County is 4-2 coming in. Central's 2-5. I say all that to say this: Giles County's going to win this ball game.
And finally, Richland, are they on? They're playing
Richland.
Collinwood, is that right?
Richland goes to Collinwood, and I'm expecting them to bounce back pretty significantly from that 38-28 loss at home last week to Mount Pleasant in Region 5 2A play. Man, Ethan Workman has been a stud for Richland all year, and I look for that to continue to the extent that it has to. I think Richland controls this one from the get and wins it going away. So
there you have it. That's Mostradamus. That's our high school picks. If you missed any of them, you can go back and watch this or wherever you get your Main Street Media television shows, whether it be Roku, Apple, Fire Stick, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever it is. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow with college football pick'em, and we will have Ron Higgins will join us, talk a little LSU Tennessee, as a ton of Tennessee fans making their way to Baton Rouge right now. So appreciate you guys being with us. That's going to do it for the show. We will see you tomorrow at 2:00. Mo, go enjoy the Cadillac Lake.
Lake Cadillac. We'll see what we can do. Gonna go watch a little youth soccer this evening, weather permitting. So wish me luck. Hopefully I don't freeze.
Enjoy.
We'll talk to you tomorrow.